Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Facts 90.3 Nigeria Info and Hearing Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 16 gone past 3 p.m. and it's the weekend edition of Hard Facts. Well, Hard Facts comes away Mondays through Fridays, but I consider Fridays to be the official commencement of the weekend. So, well, in a manner of speaking, you could say the Friday edition of Hard Facts is the weekend edition of the show, in a manner of speaking. But I hope you had a fine week so far. Well, and I hope things have worked out this week. I do strongly imagine that for a lot of Nigerians it didn't. I hope that somehow you were amongst those that it did work out for. The chances may not be very high, but then again, God works in mysterious ways. At least so I'm told, anyways. Well, welcome once again. And from now till 7, we keep the conversation going, or till about 7. By 7, the sports gang will be in for extra time. You're welcome once again, and I hope you made plans for the weekend. I intend to get a lot of rest this weekend. That's what I intend to do. Watch a lot of TV, binge on some series or something like that. You know, I intend to do a lot of that this weekend. Catch a movie or two as well, I suppose. Basically just take a load up, put my feet up a lot this weekend. I think I deserve some, I need to get me some rest this weekend. So whatever it is you need to get some extra fun, catch a movie, see some friends maybe, go ahead and... Well, okay, so on the show today, let's see, what are we looking at? Oh, I've got side comments, yes I do. Random stories, random thoughts will not be discussed now, remember that, to possibly during the open season segment. Then I've got the rounds coming up, something in my mind. I'll express some thoughts in it, and I'll take your thoughts in mine till 4 p.m. Now, 4 features, we've got business news at 4 p.m. After all, talk news and sports, news especially, every hour till 6 p.m. Now, let's see. All right, after the business news at 4, is Rivers State a safe haven for investors? Is it? Is it really? Is it? Governor Isim what Wike says his administration having created conducive investment climate in the state will continue to partner investors while taking advantage of the available opportunities. Governor Wike gave the assurance when he formally opened the Abuja Furniture Production Showroom, a subsidiary of Julius Berger in Port Harcourt, on Thursday. The governor said he had approached the management of AFP in Abuja and encouraged them to move their business to Port Harcourt to serve the South-South and Southeast geopolitical zones. Governor Wike also said the state government will award the furnishing of the State House of Assembly quarters that is currently under construction to AFP as an incentive. He explained that awarding the furnishing of the new assembly quarters to AFP, I believe, all right, will enable the company to employ Rivers people, thus reducing unemployment in the state. So, remember, of course, there was the damning report recently about Rivers State being in the top 6 of unemployment figures in the country as far as states are concerned, unemployment rates in the various states in the country or the entire country. And that's an issue, no doubt. What are we getting wrong in the country? What are we getting wrong? Why are unemployment figures soaring in the country? And why are they soaring in Rivers State as well? And why aren't we having jobs being created in the country? And more specifically, why are we having that problem here in Rivers State? Now, these and other related matters we're going to be discussing in the 4 o'clock hour. What do we need to be doing what does Rivers State need to do to encourage private investors and create jobs in the state is what we'll be looking at in the 4 o'clock hour. And my guest for that conversation is an expert in the subject matter, Dr. Eniola Taiwo. Is going to be my guest for the conversation. He's an author, social entrepreneur, lecturer, innovation and enterprise development consultant. He'll join me in the 4 o'clock hour for that conversation. Now, that takes us to 5. We got the news update at 5 p.m. And after that, Oh my goodness. Oh, oh Lord. Okay, well, I forgot my copy. I'll be speaking with. I had an interesting experience. I think it was about a week ago. You might remember I mentioned this a week or two ago, thereabouts. I was pleasantly surprised when a colleague here handed me a book that was dropped off for me. It was a book published by a 10-year-old author, Bliss Zoe Ayiba Tonye. All right, and fascinating book indeed, really. And I've gone through the entire thing. If you remember that day, if you were listening, I read the first chapter of the book, and I decided that I read the first chapter on air, and immediately I decided that I had to have her on my show. So I spoke with her mom, spoke with Bliss Zoe as well, and somehow we've come to some agreement. So she'll be with me on Hard Facts today in the 5 o'clock hour. I'll be speaking with 10-year-old author Bliss Zoe Ayibatoni on publishing her first book. At least I think it's a first book. How does a 10-year-old write and publish a book, by the way? And it was quite nice, I do say. And I'm looking forward to the conversation with her in the 5 o'clock hour. I really am. I hope you can catch that conversation as well. Comes up after the news update. You got headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m., open season afterwards. And the Phones and Gadgets show comes up at 6:30 p.m. till 7. And officially that wraps up Hard Facts for today. And for the week as well, I might add. So that's the show today. Any changes you will find out, simply stick around. But we get things moving on right now with some side comments, random stories, random thoughts as I checked out the news earlier. As the final day for the first phase of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccination nears, data at the Zoba Model Primary Healthcare Centre shows that more people turned up to get vaccinated than the latter days. The tally sheet for COVID-19 vaccination made available to our correspondent showed that on day 1, 11 people got vaccinated. On day 2 and 3, 20 to 23 people. On day 4, 12 people. Day 5, 11. Day 6, 10. A vaccinator, Apollonia Amadi, told our correspondent that people were skeptical on the first day. Let's hear what the vaccinator, Apollonia, had to say about this development.
Some will take and go back and return on the traffic. Some too will take and they will come back that they have slight pains. But when we give immunization, we'll ask them if there is any pains. We take para. Different body reaction. Some you take, it's not as if you've taken anything. Some will take, will have back pain, and that is all. Nobody has come for any severe pain. They are turning up well. From the first time, the turn up was too low. After the first day, second day, the third day till today, we have been seeing people from different places.
Also, Nigeria Infos and Ogbevere spoke about her experience after taking her first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and here's what she said.
And today I went to the health center at Uzwoba to have my first jab. Yeah, some people have been expressing concern, they were scared, and someone told me after taking it, do this, do that. But I went in there, I took the vaccine, and I feel perfectly all right. So everyone is encouraged to go out there, get to a health center near you, and take the COVID vaccine, because COVID vaccines save lives.
All right, yeah, so it does save lives. Go out and get vaccinated yourself. Well, I do confess, I myself have not received the vaccine yet. Not because I don't want to, as a matter of fact, I do want to. Just haven't had the opportunity to. All right, but as soon as you get the opportunity, go get vaccinated. As soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going to get vaccinated as well. All right, so... let's see, what else caught my attention on the news today? Oh yeah, the NNPC says it pays 120 billion naira every month to subsidize premium motor spirit or petrol. NNPC Group General Manager Mele Kyari said this at the weekly presidential ministerial media briefing on Thursday in Abuja. Yeah, and he explained while the actual cost of importation and handling amounts to 234 naira per litre, government is retailing at 162 naira per litre. So how do I say this? Yeah, Nigerians wear your gyms because you're going to we're going to have to start paying more for petrol soon, inexplicably, or inevitably, I suppose, is what the NNPC and by implication the federal government is announcing to Nigerians. So it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. The Kwabam State High Court, sitting in Ikotek local government area, has sentenced one Professor Peter Ogban of the University of Calabar to 3 years imprisonment for electoral fraud he committed during the 2019 elections in the state. Ogban, a professor of soil physics and conservation, was the collation returning officer during the National Assembly election and stood trial on a two-count charge of manipulating and falsifying scores of election results in Ordu, Anam, and Etim Ekpo local government areas in favor of the All Progressives Congress. In his judgment on Thursday, Justice Augustine Doko said it was proved beyond reasonable doubt that the accused was guilty of the charges and sentenced him to 3 years imprisonment and a fine of 100,000 naira for the two-count charges, respectively. Now, the accused pleaded that the court grant him 100% mercy and allow him to go and continue with his responsibilities. And counsel to the defendant, Anthony Ekpe, said his client will appeal the judgment. Now, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. It sends a message to officials that you have to do the right thing. But for some reason, I sense that we're still dealing with symptoms here. Because now I don't know the circumstances that the professor of soil physics, Peter Ogban, I don't know the circumstances he found himself in that made him, falsify election results. But it's not unlikely that there are scenarios where election officials or electoral officials find themselves compelled or feel coerced or pressured into falsifying election results, by politicians. I mean, not once have we heard that a politician has been arraigned or prosecuted or even convicted for some electoral malfeasance, but because they are the ones who are responsible for this. Okay, so this prof has been sentenced. So who was responsible for making him do this? I mean, he must have been influenced some way or another. Either he was coerced, or even if he did it willingly, somebody would have very likely induced him to do it, paid him something or coerced him to do it somewhere or another, having some kind of leverage on him. So, which chieftain or which politician of the APC, as the case may be, was responsible for this? We have cases of political of thugs, causing mayhem during elections. How many of these thugs have been apprehended, prosecuted, and jailed for electoral malfeasance? Not one. So, I don't know. I think we need to the relevant agencies of government need to look in that direction. That takes nothing away from prosecuting INEC officials, either permanent staff or ad hoc, who are found guilty. But we need to start taking the crusade to the politicians as well, to the politicians and their minions, who are at the root of electoral malfeasance and irregularities with our elections. We need to take the crusade to them. We need to prosecute them. We need to get them jailed as well. Doesn't matter who they are, honorables and excellencies, or how highly placed they may be. And there's a lot of back and forth about controversy. Plenty of those being raised about who is likely going to be the next Chief Judge of Rivers State. I suppose this is a matter that will be discussed and hard facts next week. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I think I'll take out this weekend take out some time to look through the different positions, and we'll have a discussion on it next week. I feel certain of that. But I'm also strongly convinced that we haven't heard the last of this. But to the lawyers in River State, well, I hope you guys can come together and without fear or favor look at this dispassionately and take a stand. There's a Nigerian Bar Association in Rivers State. I hope that the NBA in Rivers State will be able to take a stand on this matter. I really hope so. I sincerely hope so. Anyways. So I think that's going to be it for today's side comments. But to wrap it up, in my capacity as a self-appointed senior special advisor to the Rivers State Governor, reminding His Excellency of critical matters. Your Excellency, sir, teachers of demonstration schools in Rivers State for about 5 years now have not been paid salaries because you simply decided to not pay them. Even in spite of a judgment from the National Industrial Court mandating that you do pay, and the appeal of your government at the appeal court was struck out for lack of merit. So let's pay them. Let's pay them. They may not be flyovers, and they may not be Julius Berger, but they deserve some attention as well. They deserve some attention. Also, education in Rivers State, especially at the basic level, we need to pay some premium priority attention. Needs to be given to basic education. It's a far cry from what it should be, and as I've said severally, flyovers might take us from GRA Junction to water lines in a minute or two less, or some seconds less than it would take us normally, or in quicker time. But education will take us to the future. Education will take us to places that flyovers can never get. In fact, education will take us to a future where flyovers will no longer exist. So, and once again, education is the best legacy anyways. So let's work on that, Your Excellency. Let's work on that. Alright, so I think that's it for side comments. I will go on a break. When I return, today's round comes up. Please stay with us. Oh, and before that, someone asked me a question here via WhatsApp saying, Dio, have you watched Coming to America 2 or Coming to America? No, I haven't actually. I know I said quite a lot about seeing it about a week or two ago or so. But quite frankly, I didn't get a chance to, and the reviews I got from the likes of Ibi Bozimo didn't actually help either. It didn't help, really, I confess. I did see, interestingly, after I made that comment on air, I think it was that day or a day or two after that, I saw the original Coming to America on cable TV, and it was a wonderful night. And I saw the entire thing. So I'm still looking forward to seeing Coming to America, a second part, that is. Alright, so that's it. I go for the break now, and the round comes up shortly. Please stay tuned.
Online and offline training between Lagos and Paris. Film Lab Nigeria, Wazobia Academy, and LAFAC, the digital learning platform for creative industries, present an innovative training on television series fundamentals, scriptwriting skills, creative independent skills for experienced writers and young professionals in the Nigerian audiovisual industry. Learn principles and techniques of series scriptwriting. Registration is now on at wazobia.academy. Contact Project Coordinator on 0908 897 5611. Email coordinator@wazobia.academy. Powered by LAFAC, with support from the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the French Embassy in Nigeria.
When knowledge meets action, information liberates. How informed do you need to be to thrive in a fast-changing world?
Listen to experts only.
Keep it dial locked on 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk, and sports 24/7.
I am listening. Are you? Are you running late and can't make it down to our Room OC office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817 001 8162. That's 0817 001 8162.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dion.
Hello, welcome. Actually, Hard Facts in 90.3 Nigeria, Info and Hearing Port Harcourt and Dio. I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something in my mind that I'd like to express some thoughts in it, and you're welcome to express your thoughts and mine all the way till 4 p.m. I mean, it sounds very ordinary these days, very commonplace to say that Nigeria has a lot of problems. In fact, it is the understatement of existence. I can't say the understatement of the year. I can't even say the understatement of the century or the millennium. It's the understatement since the Big Bang, if you believe in a theory of evolution, or it's the understatement since God said, "Let there be light," if you believe in the story of creation. But it's the understatement since understatements first roamed the earth, if they did roam the earth. Nigeria has a lot of problems. One of those problems I perceive very strongly is that Nigeria's leaders think of Nigeria as a private entity, as their courtyard, as their private clubhouse. You know, and they're all struggling. You know, a private clubhouse. That's strictly. You can only get access access is strictly by membership, and only the elite, of course, can gain access to such places. So those who are on the inside are very careful to maintain their status on the inside, and they are very careful of those who are on the outside because they want to maintain that exclusivity. So they're not in a quick to let people outside to come inside. In fact, they're very careful and very wary of people who are outside coming inside. And then those who are on the outside are doing everything possible, almost literally everything possible, to ensure that they can gain access into the exclusive club, so they can be part of it, so they can be seen to belong to the exclusive elite, and I believe there are perks of belonging to such clubs as well, which is why they will do anything, or almost anything, or in Nigeria's case, anything, to belong to that exclusive club. And I perceive once again that Nigeria's leaders, or at least a lot of Nigerian leaders, maybe even the vast majority of Nigerian leaders, perceive Nigeria that way, or perceive leadership in Nigeria as that way. This club of exclusives, so it's a private business, and it's all about propagating their own personal, oftentimes greedy and selfish interests. But Nigeria is not a club. Nigeria is not a private entity. It's not a private business. It doesn't belong to one person, or a group of persons for that matter, to tinker with and do with as you please, as you wish. And then those who do not belong to your smaller circle must be looked on with disdain, as people who have not eaten, people who do not belong, as people who are dirty, who should not stain your expensive attire, as the masses, the ordinary Nigerians, the ordinary people, And ever so often, when leaders make comments, there are comments that they make that you just get an inkling as to what plays out or what goes on in their minds, in their heads. And, as the good book says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he speaks. And they can't help themselves, really. And that's why oftentimes when they talk, they exhibit this trait, that Nigeria belongs to them, and the rest of us are just laborers working to satisfy their humongous, never-ending, insatiable quest and greed for money, for power, and belongings. They just want to acquire everything, acquire every property, acquire every land, acquire every house, acquire every building. Their need, or not, it's not a need, their want is insatiable. They just keep on acquiring, amassing, looting, stealing. They can't help themselves, really. And every other person, like I said, is simply a laborer in this business contraption that they see Nigeria as, who are simply working, paying taxes, making the machinery run, and fighting for them when it comes to election period, just so that they can keep on with their quest and insatiable need to keep on amassing and acquiring. And like I said, when they express themselves at different times, they betray this perception. And I perceive that there is another classic example of that stares us in the face with some item I came across in our bulletin earlier on. A former lawmaker, Collins Ordu, says recent comments by Governor Wike against President Muhammadu Buhari is slowing down infrastructural development and efforts of the federal government in the state. Mr. Ordu, in an interview with our correspondent, said Governor Wike condemned the construction of the Eastern narrow gauge railway, the Bonny Deep Seaport, among other federal government projects, without considering their economic benefits. He said a state governor should set aside politics and put the interests of the state first, because his comments do not reflect the seriousness that governance deserves. I'd like to play back the comments of the former lawmaker, his honorableness. Where is that? I think it's 29. Oh, I think it's here somewhere. 25. Okay, here we are. Here it is.
This is a state that has benefited so much from the federal government. I want Governor Wike to put side by side the number of projects he attracted from the federal government when he was minister. Recently, we saw him making publications thanking the federal government for the 78 billion naira when it has not even been sent to him. And the same man, every day, he's using that money to lambast the federal government. I think that Governor Wike ought to work with the minds of Rivers people to thank the federal government for the projects executed so far, and then that will spur them to do more.
Your honorableness, I strongly disagree with you. Yes, one could raise questions, and we could have a conversation about His Excellency the Rivers State Governor's, Mr. POS's comments about the federal government's activities. We could have a conversation about that. However, how the federal government, or what the federal government feels about it, or how the president perceives it, as far as Rivers residents and indigents are concerned, is 100% irrelevant. Absolutely unimportant. In fact, there are few things in life that are more irrelevant than how the president perceives it. The president of Nigeria, or the federal government, is not the federal government of people who like the presidency. It is not, the president is not the president of Nigerians who don't like Wike but like Buhari. No, the president is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The federal government serves the interests of the entire geographical land space and the entire citizenry of the nation state referred to as Nigeria. So what the Rivers State government does or doesn't do, whether the Rivers State government thanks His Excellency or does not thank His Excellency, whether the Rivers State government makes His Excellency the President to laugh or causes him to have sleepless nights, is completely unimportant and irrelevant to the federal government's contributions to the growth and development of Rivers State, and by extension, the people within Rivers State. So whether or not it is not, they are not competing brands. Like I said, these are not private entities. The federal government of Nigeria is not operating a private business, such that we will say that the Rivers State government is a competing brand, or is another business. This is not okay. I don't want to mention real companies or firms right now who are slugging it out, or who are loggerheads, in maybe because they are both in the same industry or they have interest in the same industry. That's not what's playing out here. No. It's not a private business. The federal government is not competing with the River State government, such that, oh, okay, fine, because you have done this, we will not do that. No, the federal government does not have a choice. The president, it's not optional. He doesn't have a choice. He has a constitutional mandate. He is bound by that mandate to do everything that he possibly can to serve the interest of Nigerians everywhere in this country, to improve the fortunes of Nigeria everywhere in this country, regardless of who is thanking him or who is not thanking him, regardless of whether the River State governor likes him or does not like him, regardless of whether the River State government or governor makes him happy or makes him cry. It's completely irrelevant. So, whether His Excellency POS Africa appreciates the efforts of the federal government or not does not matter. The federal government has a responsibility to all Nigerians, irrespective of where they live, and irrespective of who their governors are, and irrespective of how they perceive those governors. So it would be a lot better if on the Honorable Collins Ordu and his likes and his colleagues would impress it on the federal government and the president. Hopefully they have access to the government. Hopefully they have the president's ears, and can tell him that irrespective of what the River State governor thinks of them, they should fulfill their responsibilities and their mandate towards Rivers State, towards Rivers people, towards Rivers residents. So I find that there is no plausibility, there is no plausible cause in the argument, or there's no plausible logic in the argument that because the governor is condemning the federal government, as was affecting federal government intervention in Rivers State. Nobody cares, really. Quite frankly, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So please tell the president, Honorable former lawmaker Collins Ordu, that they should do what they're supposed to do. Whether they like themselves or they don't like themselves, that's their personal problem. We, the good people of Rivers State, don't care about that one. What we care about, because we pay taxes, we fulfill our own part as citizens. So they must fulfill their own part, whether they like each other or they don't like each other. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope I didn't bore you. Any thoughts in mind, let's hear it. Lines are open, 0817 93 0002 or 0003, 0817 93 0007 or 0009. Lines are open. We're live on Twitter at NigerianForPH. WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. Please keep it brief, concise, straight to the point. Once the call is answered, do turn down the volume of your radio set, and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. I think I'll start with the phone line. Hello, hard fact to welcome.
Hello.
All right, go on.
Good afternoon, Dad.
Go ahead.
It's Awati. I'm calling you from London. You've seen it now. That is what politicians want everybody to believe. So that even the educated ones do not know what politics is all about. They sell their title and those ideas they would have used in contributing to the growth of the nation into political issues, so that somebody will believe if I don't come to lie down for you, you will not do your right as a leader. A leader will be in the country, you cannot rule. Then let's consider him to be, go to your house. If you cannot be at your position as a leader and rule and do what is expected of you, don't go and relax and let other people that are willing to do it come do it. I can wait as a president in the country and nothing is going on. Stealing is going on and you're happy. You're calling yourself a president. It's unfortunate.
Good to hear from you. Well, hard fact to welcome.
hello, there. Good evening.
All right, go ahead.
Charity from Ordu. Yeah, well, when I had this soundbite in the morning, I was angry and I had to remove my radio from Nigeria because it's a trend. The level of mediocrity we have get ourselves to mainly in this River State. What has got the federal government that is collecting tax and everything from River State and from there, and he said they have executed. They just promised to do this things and they have not done it. And somebody is singing and praises and they are asking to thank. And this thanking everybody in this state is becoming unbearable. As if they all was doing us favor. They are not. I know how much I pay tax at somebody living in River State. And when somebody do something, they will thank our government, will thank our president. We're thanking them for what exactly?
Yes. You have to thank them.
Is that not for what now?
Well, it's not easy being an excellence. So you have to thank them for being excellent.
No, I can't say my heart has children and feet. They're supposed to thank me every day for being their father now. Is that my responsibility? No. Oh, nice day.
Hello, 90.3.
Hello, Dario. Good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
This is Evi speaking from Shenda Houses.
Go on.
I don't know what we have done to these people in this Nigeria or in the entire world. It is in Nigeria that somebody will tell you that they did not vote for me, so I will not do their road. Is it everybody that is going to vote for you, or is it everybody that is going to thank you? If the government is like this, why are these people coming to tell people as if we don't know where they are going? Did they think that all of us are fools? That Wike did not grade this. What about the taxes they are collecting? Then someone will tell me that my political enemies is so strict, so I'm not going to tie that street. Is that part of governance? It's not governance, not for everybody. Then some people will be clapping hands for this kind of talks and they will be happy. Look how we will find ourselves and we'll call ourselves educated, elite, and honorable. It's unfortunate. When I heard of it, it's short, I'm bitter. My brother, thank you for your good job. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to hear from you. 973, hello.
Hello, Dayo.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. John, yeah. For me, I just see it as a sort of politician. But anybody that is conversant with Mr. President, we know that Mr. President does not give a damn what you say or what he does not say. I can say this for free. The president I know, President of Nigeria, doesn't care.
But Mr. President also sold this narrative. Don't forget in a hurry. He sold the narrative in the early days of his presidency when he said that he would do something for those that voted for him and those that did not vote for him cannot expect. Remember that.
But in practice,
forget practice. He said it.
Yes.
So are you saying he didn't mean what he said?
No, Daniel, what I'm trying to say here is that this president does not even honor you by giving you reply. Whatever you say, you like curse him, insult him from now to tomorrow. He does the right thing.
Yeah, but the president does not reply to anything actually. Which is another problem. He doesn't reply to anything.
It does not matter what anybody is saying. So the president is doing what he's supposed to do. The project he's doing in the state is what his responsibility as a federal government. He does it, and I can stand here and tell you that even our own brother Jonathan did not do what this president is doing for us here in the South. Let anybody come and dispute that. Thank you.
Hello, 973. Hello, welcome. Go ahead. Hello? I got 5 minutes to go before 4 p.m. Via WhatsApp. This rant today has been sponsored by the other opposition. Please continue to call it down the middle. Genuine good people of Rivers that appreciate what you're doing. That's a big will. When I was 9 years old, my aunt that lives in another state who hasn't seen me for 5 years sent me shoes and clothes without knowing my size. My aunt didn't say because she doesn't know my size, she can't buy those items. The comment by Honorable Colin told him that the comment of Governor Wike is the reason there are no federal projects in Rivers State is meaningless and should not be taken serious, as he's not the spokesperson for either the federal nor the APC. That's from Jeffenfield. I don't know how we got here, and this thanksgiving of his sin is what I don't understand. even when they owe us responsibilities. That's from Ada. The so-called political leaders in our country don't know that the fund they manage is a commonwealth, not a particular governor's. Electorates, please know that the celebration of any project done is neither here nor there. They are doing their constitutional responsibility. That's from a GC. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Daya, good evening.
All right, go on.
Yeah, you see, Daya, the problem is that each time contract is being awarded in Rivers State, that part of Rivers State people will be dancing, tired up, and they will dance in praising the governor. And now the federal government has awarded contract to Rivers State, and the governor is supposed to arrange his commissioner. They would have tired about the whole commissioner and the governor dance to the federal government to show appreciation. So that is why that man is sounding like that. You see?
All right. Via Facebook, Kingsley Ogidigas, this is one of the major problems we have in this country. Some persons think you must sing their praises before they will do what is constitutionally right for the citizens. That really slowing the development of this country. I understand what it goes. But again, a good leader always set for criticism. Criticism is correctional rather than dictatorial. Many leaders in Africa see correction as an insult. That is mediocrity in government. A lustrous Nathan Goes story, but his utterances does not slow drilling of crude oil from the state. No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect that one. Obina Uwanga goes down. The lawmakers are looking for another juicy position. It's part of the sycophancy of the political class, seen also in the followers too. Serika King on Facebook goes, what is the development in those states that the governors are not criticizing Mr. President? The statement is political and directed at informing the public. I'd say, can I take another call? Can I? Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
You got 30 seconds. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no problem. Really is Honorable Priest Chris, not Honorable of the politician, Honorable of the...
Okay, all right. Hello, Hard Fact.
Hello, good evening.
All right, go ahead.
You see the myopic reasoning and the shallow thinking of the politician. They will say, this place is not a PDP state, nothing will happen there. This local government did not support me, so let their road remain just the kingdom come. Hey, this one, they did not clap their hand for me when I was coming, so for that, I will not give them water. You see, they are scared, they are giving us a failed state. They are the in-depth, their reasoning is very shallow, very tall. Will everybody support you? Will everybody clap their hand for you? You have been voted in India by law to do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do. And that is all. When people come to bow down, need their hand and roll their back for you, roll out drum before you.
No. Just tie a pan dance. That's all.
The elite, they call themselves elite. I mean, what they call themselves. And these little things they don't do. So what are we saying? What are we doing? We are the leading us to. They should drop this thing and give to people that will know what to do for the common people.
Great to hear from yourself. Finally, via Twitter at Ustino55155 tweets, an average Nigerian politician believes he or she is doing the people that took them to power a favor by doing the same thing that the people sent them there to do, and unfortunately, it's very appalling to imagine. All right, we got the business news coming up right now, top of the hour, it's 4 p.m. When I return, what do we need to do, or is River State a safe haven for investors? What do we need to do to make it so, if it's not so, and create the much needed jobs? When I return, please stay with us.